Alright, so it's been a while since I gave you a little tutorial, so it's going to be time. Alright, so this is your intro to Pro Tools. What I have done here is I have, in my computer, gone to my dock and clicked on Pro Tools here, loaded it, and this is the default quick start screen. It gives you a few little bits of options here. One, you can start from templates, and they have different genres or different ways. You can start music template, blues. It starts you off with, a preset way of doing things that, some people have decided. It's for post-production, if you're working with surround sound. There's, if you're working with an 11 rack, songwriter, low CPU usage and stuff like this. Or if you're working with a live board console, their venue stuff. Or if you're just recording and mixing. Okay, these are templates that the system has already made, and it's part of the quick start menu. First option. Second option is straight blank. Gives you different options here: bit depth, wave type, audio type file, sample rate, I/O settings, last to use, or if you're using different consoles. Okay, or you can go to recent and you can see what other recent sessions you can quickly pop up. Or you can just quickly say I want to open a session, and it'll open its dialog box like this. You can go ahead and sift through your stuff. I hit the cancel button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up something that you guys probably want to hear real quick. Something from the TT sessions. Bring up and down. Okay. And now, what I'm going to go over real quickly, and some of you already know this, and it's totally cool. Okay, so this track's already kind of mixed down. Okay, so before I get on any further, session's pretty cool, pretty stacked, pretty dope. There's a few areas that I want to introduce you into Pro Tools. Here is one window. It's called the Edit window. This is where you can zoom in and see all the different files and performances that you're recording. And then you can actually go into great detail and edit them. If you can look here, you can see the splices there. And then as I go down, you can see these stacks here. Zoom in there and see that I've edited those. You can go into deeper detail and see that I've edited the fades between the little performances. Okay, so this is the edit window where you can come and edit in detail all the little things that you record. And then you can also see over here to the left that it's color coordinated by track. It says inserts, sends, I/O. I'll get to that. And at the top, okay, above the edit window, you get bars, music, bars, beats, minutes, seconds, samples, tempo, markers, and then if you click on this little black thing here, you get to expand that if you have the options, if you're running in HD or whatever you're running in. So from there, you can see what time frame you're in, if you're running in the tempo of the track. You can see it up here in the tempo. Really loving the attention. Hey baby, did I mention really loving this chemistry that I'm feeling? You can tell if it's in time or not. So moving on, there's two parts to this. There's the clip list window over here that's hardly ever seen. And this is a record of all the whole files or just clips that you create as you go through your editing and splicing. So if I went here and highlighted this group, they would be highlighted right here, and then those would be all the files that I'm choosing to work with. Okay, so I hide that there, right here. Okay, then to the left over here, we have the track list window and the groups window. Right now, the groups window is grayed out, and I'm gonna Command Shift G, and it's gonna come back, and those are all the groups that I have. Okay, Command Shift G suspends them or reactivates them. Okay, and then the track list is, basically a list of all the tracks that I have or don't have active in the session. Okay, so that's left, right, middle. Okay, up in the top left is your grid mode. So there's relative grid, grid, slip, shuffle, spot. You can also hold slip and go into slip and grid mode. And so you can slip things into grid mode that are in slip mode or vice versa. Okay, right here are zoom controls. You can see audio zoom. If I zoomed in here on these parts, okay, and I push this, they got a bit fatter, better view. If you zoomed in, you can see more in detail what's going on in the file. Zoom down, you can see that right there. Okay. The MIDI zoom is the same thing, but with MIDI. If I were to create a MIDI track real quickly, okay, MIDI track, then go to notes, see these lines, and then look at the piano keys that are like right there, make that large. See that? These got bigger as I push this. So that's to see MIDI notes at larger, imaging, and then you can make it smaller. And then these are zoom memories. You can go ahead and program your own zoom memories, and if I like a WAV file to look, this close at all times, or when it's my first zoom, save as zoom preset right there. And then so when I pushed one, zoom back down into that preset. Over here, we're going to go over these editor tools right here. Okay, this is the zoom tool. There's different ways, normal zoom or single zoom. Have it to single. So that means every time I click, it's a single zoom or it goes back. Okay, you can also do it by command in brackets. That's a good way. I use that a lot. Okay, then to the left you have your trimmer tool. That's if you wanted to take a region, or as we call it, a clip now in Pro Tools 10, and trim that down. You can do that with the trimmer tool. Okay, just take that, do it left or right. Okay. To the right of that, I have the selector tool, and that is very easily used for editing as well. I'm going to go here and make some more room. Okay, so then if I wanted to go in here with the selector tool, I can go ahead and use tab to transients here in slip mode and find phrasings or slip in and out of phrasings things and just kind of mute them or delete them as I
We both can go. Baby, I'm tired of waiting, boy. Let me know. Can we find a place to be and I'll never so.
You can't really hear that, but the edit's there. The stacks are just, if I wanted, you can go here, select all that, mute that whole
We
thing.
find a place that we both can go. Baby, I'm tired of waiting, boy. Let me know. Can we find a place to be and I'll never so.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so now selector tool, grabber tool, should be easy. Grab something, move it. Boom. If you're in slip mode, you gotta be careful. If you're in grid mode and everything's into the grid, and say that you're like, okay, I want to start that on, a third, or that counts out right. Start it on the first bar, take everything from the first bar, 8, create that, and then, so you're dragging 8 bars over, 2 bars. That's solid. The way to know that with the grabber tool, one is right here by looking at the main counter area and the edit selection and displays of what's going on here. So you have your main counter right here, going from here. Scrubber tool, real quick. Scrubber tool is you run your mouse over it, hold down the button. It's basically like a little DJ. You get to preview everything. You run your mouse over it. You preview everything. You run your mouse over. The pencil tool is usually used for automation. If I were to come here, go to my volume, right here, okay, and then just kind of draw that in like that. Have these all grouped so now they all, have that automation on it. That's the pencil tool. I can also change the pencil tool to line and just, do lines like this. Or I can do triangle, square, random. You can have fun with the different various options. Okay, I'm not going to get into these right now because there's a little more explanation. But what I want to get into is the very basic ones. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Okay, so the main counter window, we got we're in beats, bars and beats right now, so it's counting in bars and beats. I can change that to minutes and seconds, time code. It's basically relative to here. Okay, bars and beats. And then this is cool, this is important because this follows your cursor. So if I'm in selector tool and I go here and I choose 8 bars, it's going to say on bar 34, ending at 42, I chose 8 bars, and I can see that highlighted here. Okay. Then below that is our icons. This is our timeline data online status. This is session data online status. That means we're missing 1 or 2 files. This is delay compensation. This has to do with plugins. This has these 2 little things are if something soloed or muted. Okay. Default note duration for MIDI is a half note, looks like. Okay. And then to the right of that is our grid mode and our nudge mode. Grid, you can see the lines changing right here. Okay, and there are shortcuts to change all of these things. I'm just pointing and clicking so it's easier for people to follow. And I can change this to nudge mode to bars and beats, and change this to 8 notes. Okay, you can also change that to, if I want to move a nudge, by just using my shortcuts by a quarter note or a whole note. Yeah. Go ahead and just push one button. Okay, move that back. To the right of this, is your transport controls, online status, stops, punch, record, play, rewind. To the right of that is your count off. Now this is the expanded transport, I believe. Okay, this is everything. There you go. Pre-roll. Okay, to the right of that, while I was doing count off, 1 bar. Tempo, you have your tempo right there. This is your metronome if you want a metronome on. Okay, conductor. Alright, so the pre-roll. The pre-roll is if you want something to start playing before you start recording. And I want, 4 bars of pre-roll. So then you'll see the orange flag here. Okay, post-roll is if you want it to record after you've done recording. See 4 bars, orange flag over there. So that means it'll start playing here, start recording here, stop recording here, and play until here. Okay? And then you have the expanded controls down here. Alright, so that's the main thing for the edit window. Okay, now I'm going to quickly go into the mix window, and that's by holding Command plus equals next to the delete button, and boom, I go into the mix window, and you can see this is where all you get to see all like the tracks that look like a mixer, and you can see my master fader right here, okay, and then you can see the instrumental right there. If I expand that, it's a whole lot bigger. You can see a bunch of stuff. Okay. So the mix window is very simple. It's just tracks, and each track is different. Okay. So, but at the top we have our inserts area. There's two of them, two sections of 5, I believe it is, for a total of 10. Yep. And then you get also two more sections of 5 for cents. So that's 10 cents and 10 inserts, and that's per track. So these are the two top sections: inserts area A through E, inserts area F through J, sends A through E, and sends F through J. Okay, that's are the two top areas. Inserts first, sends, then below that is the I/O area. This is where you send or receive things. The top is in, the bottom is out. Okay, I/O, bottom in, top out. Say that the most. It can vary between systems, but this is where I would choose if I want to send something, or sending it here out. Okay, and then I'm going to receive it here in bus, whatever. Okay, going down. This is the automation. If I have enabled automation for this track, touch means that automation will start as I touch whatever I'm going to automate. Latch means, touch, going back to touch means once I stop touching it, it will stop automation and go back to where it was before. Okay, so touch means I touch it, it starts writing, I let go, it goes back to where it was before. Okay, this is good for putting on effects or doing effects just as you touch the controller or the item that you want automated, and then want it reverted right back the moment you stop touching it. This can go for volumes and different things. Going down to latch, latch is a little different. Once you touch it and you start, doing automation, it keeps going, and it'll keep and it'll stay wherever you leave it. Touch latch is, where you can touch it and then it starts going, or vice versa. Write means it just keeps writing wherever you're at. Write over means you got to be careful. You'll write over your automation if you don't be careful. Okay, so that's over the automation. Group area tells you if there's an active group on the track. These 4 tracks are grouped to group J. It's group 10. Okay, below that is your pan. Below that is the track input, record enable buttons, mute. Okay. Below that, the fader and volume. This area is a volume indicator. It can also change to show peak and other things. Okay. Check that by holding command, just pushing command and click on that. Okay. Below that is the name of the track. And below that is the delay compensation. That's the amount of delay that's induced by the plugins that you have on the actual track. And I'll get into that later. But that's what it is. Comments below, and track color if you click on that. Alright, so this is the mix window. That is the edit window. They all have similarities. They all kind of work together. So I hope you've liked it. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. And I hope now, looking at this, you'll know a little bit more about Pro Tools. Alright, thanks.